Evolution of Nvidia Graphic Cards. Despite Nvidia was founded in 1993, it wasn't until 1995 that the corporation debuted its first graphics hardware, the NV1. Things have evolved tremendously since then, and today we are spoilt with ray tracing, DLSS, and other fantastic technologies that enhance our gaming experiences. Let's go through the history of Nvidia graphics cards and see what they've looked like over the years. NV1 Nvidia. The Nvidia NV1 was released in 1995 and could handle both 2D and 3D video. It was branded as the Diamond Edge 3D, and it even included a Sega Saturn joypad port. Nvidia Riva 128. Nvidia launched the NV3 nicknamed Riva 128, which stood for Real-Time Interactive Video and Animation at the time. This graphics card supported 2D and 3D acceleration, as well as polygon texture mapping. Nvidia NV4. Nvidia released NV4, also known as Riva TNT, in 1998. This graphics card improves on earlier generations by supporting 32-bit true color. The NV4 also featured larger RAM, with 16 MB of SDR/SDRAM, which meant it performed better. Nvidia NV5. In 1999, Nvidia released the Riva TNT2, which had a variety of upgrades such as 32-bit Z-buffer stencil support, up to 32 MB of VRAM, and 2048 by 2048 texture compatibility. Nvidia GeForce 256. Late in 1999, Nvidia debuted the Nvidia GeForce 256, which it billed as the world's first GPU. This was a savvy marketing maneuver by Nvidia, and it marked the beginning of a long love affair with GeForce-branded graphics cards. It improved on earlier Riva cards by expanding the pixel pipelines, but it also provided a significant boost in PC gaming performance. This card could hold up to 64 MB of DDR/SD RAM and clock at 166 MHz. As a result, it was 50% quicker than the NV5. Nvidia GeForce 2. Nvidia's GeForce 2 GPU was released shortly after the world's first GPU. This GPU was available in various versions, including the Ti, Pro, GTS, and Ultra. These cards were basically NV11, 15, and 16 cards. Throughout the 2000 and 2001 releases, pipelines and clock rates were increased. The beginning of support for multi-monitor setups was what made GeForce 2 intriguing. This was also the moment that Nvidia purchased 3DFX. Nvidia GeForce 3. GeForce 3 arrived shortly after GeForce 2. This series of graphics cards, codenamed NV20, were Nvidia's first DirectX 8 compliant GPUs. There were three models, the GeForce 3, the GeForce 3 T200, and the GeForce 3 T500. This next GeForce GPU had customizable pixel and vertex shaders as well as multi-sample anti-aliasing. The first Xbox system uses a version of GeForce 3 known as NV2A. GeForce FX series. A few of generations later, in 2003, Nvidia's GeForce FX series was released. These GeForce graphics cards were the fifth generation, and they supported Direct3D 9 as well as a variety of new memory technologies. DDR2, GDDR2, and GDDR3 were among them, as was Nvidia's first effort at a memory data bus bigger than 128 bits. Nvidia GeForce 6 series. The GeForce FX series was followed shortly by the GeForce 6 series, as known as NV40. Nvidia began marketing SLI technology with GeForce 6, allowing consumers to combine more than one graphics card for increased power. The GeForce 6800 Ultra was the line's flagship, with 222 million transistors, 16 pixel superscalar pipelines, and 6 vertex shaders. It supported Shader Model 3.0 and was Microsoft DirectX 9.0C and OpenGL 2.0 compatible. The series also had Nvidia Pure Video technology, which led it to decode H.264, VC1, WMV, and MPEG-2 videos while using less CPU power. GeForce 7 Series. The GeForce 7 series debuted in 2005, with the 7800 GTX serving as the showpiece. That GPU alone was a true powerhouse at the time, and Nvidia was able to boost the clock speed to 550 MHz with some ingenious cooling. At the same time, the business reduced latency and increased the bus to 512 bits. Interestingly, the RSX Reality Synthesizer, a proprietary CPU co-created by Nvidia and Sony for the PlayStation 3, was based on the 7 series. Nvidia GeForce 8 series. Nvidia introduced the GeForce 8 series with its Tesla microarchitecture in 2006. This was the company's first unified shader design, and it would go on to be one of its most popular designs in subsequent cards. The much-loved Nvidia GeForce 8800 GTX was the range's flagship and very popular. It contained 681 million transistors, 768 megabytes of GDDR3 memory, and 128 shaders running at 575 MHz. Most importantly, this graphics card was capable of running Crysis, which was all that PC gamers desired at the moment. GeForce 9 series. Nvidia announced the GeForce 9 series at the beginning of 2008. These cards maintained the Tesla architecture while also adding PCIe 2.0 compatibility, better color, and Z compression. Nvidia was pushing performance up a notch by this point, with clock speeds reaching up to 675 MHz while also lowering power consumption. Nvidia GeForce 400 series. Nvidia released the GeForce 4000 series in 2010, which was the next substantial improvement. Nvidia introduced the Fermi microarchitecture, the company's next significant architecture, during this time. This series, which competed directly with the Radeon HD 5000 series, also supported OpenGL 4.0 and DirectX 11. However, the series was let down by excessive operating temperatures and power consumption, which prompted many consumers to complain. Nvidia GeForce 600 series. The GeForce 600 series debuted Nvidia's Kepler architecture, which was aimed to improve performance per watt while also improving on the prior Fermi microarchitecture's performance. Nvidia was able to boost the memory frequency to 6 GHz with Kepler. It also had GPU boost, which ensured that the GPU could function at a minimal clock speed while simultaneously boosting performance as needed until it achieved a predefined power target. This product line also supports DirectX 11 and DirectX 12. TXAA is a new anti-aliasing method introduced by this one. Nvidia GeForce 700 series. Nvidia stepped things up a level in 2013 with the 700 series, which culminated in the ridiculous high-end enthusiast GTX Titan card. The Kepler microarchitecture was refreshed in this series, although subsequent cards also had Fermi and Maxwell architectures. The GTX Titan was equipped with 2,688 CUDA cores, 224 TMUs, and 6 GB of RAM. By this point, Nvidia was packing as many as 7 billion transistors into its GPUs. The GeForce 700 series was created with energy economy in mind, but it also contained capabilities like hardware H.264 encoding, a PCI Express 3.0 interface, compatibility for DisplayPort 1.2 and HDMI 1.4a 4K x 2K video output, and GPU Boost 2.0. Nvidia GeForce 900 series. Nvidia appeared to skip a generation in 2014, launching the GeForce 900 series. This saw the debut of the Maxwell microarchitecture, which provided greater graphics capabilities as well as improved energy efficiency. The GeForce GTX 980 was the series' first flagship, followed by the 980 Ti and, at the high end, the GeForce GTX Titan X. NVENC was also upgraded for this series, and DirectX 12_1, OpenGL 4.6, OpenCL 3.0, and Vulkan 1.3 support was included. Nvidia GeForce 10 series. Nvidia unveiled the GeForce 10 series, which is built on the Pascal microarchitecture, in 2014. The GTX 1080 Ti is undoubtedly the most well-known of the GPUs in this series, and it has established its place in history as one of the most significant cards made by Nvidia. This graphics card dominated the market and provided such excellent performance and energy efficiency versus cost that it was frequently mentioned when comparing future GPUs. GPU Boost 3.0, a dynamic load balancing scheduling mechanism, triple buffering, and compatibility for both DisplayPort 1.4 and HDMI 2.0 were also included in the 10 series. Nvidia GeForce 20 series. The Turing microarchitecture was presented to the world with the GeForce 20 series in 2018. Notably, they were the first-generation RTX GPUs, with Nvidia emphasizing ray tracing as the key selling factor. Tensor cores and other upgrades enabled these GPUs to show a tremendous jump in graphics power. As a result, realistic lighting and convincing reflection effects are achieved in-game. Nvidia GeForce 30 series. The GeForce 30 series superseded the 20 series in 2020 and sadly became most well known for being simply difficult to get owing to a silicone scarcity. Nonetheless, the Nvidia RTX 3080 was supposed to retail for $699, making it far more inexpensive than the previous generation's flagship, and the series brought considerable advancements as well. The top GeForce RTX 3090 Ti, unveiled in March 2022, contained 10,752 CUDA cores, 78 RTTFLOPS, 40 shader TFLOPS, and 320 tensor TFLOPS of power. This mighty beast was also said to be power-hungry, requiring at least 850 watts of electricity, implying a 1,000-watt power supply would be required to run it. Nvidia GeForce 40 series. The Nvidia RTX 4090 is the latest flagship of Nvidia's Ada Lovelace architecture-based graphics card generation. It provides new technology, upgrades, and a significant increase in overall GPU performance. It aims to assist the next generation of games by making significant improvements to ray tracing and deep learning super sampling (DLSS) performance. Nvidia unveiled the RTX 4090 in its GTC keynote talk on September 20, 2022, disclosing that the new card will be available on October 12 for $1,599. It will be followed by the RTX 4080 16GB for $1,200 and the RTX 4080 12GB for $900, all of which will be available in November.